Well, this isn't about air conditioning, so I hope I can go back to
Go for it.
Okay. The EU legislation on noise was mentioned in connection with tranquil areas. In fact, the priority in terms of action now from that legislation, which has been adopted into our own, is the exact opposite. It's to tackle areas which are already noisy, in particular in cities, transport agglomerations. So I'm sorry, I want to go back to the transport corridor, which has the Great Western, will have Crossrail, has Westway, etc., because it's got very densely populated areas to the north, up by Harrow Road, and the Bayswater Conservation Area, which runs immediately alongside. Now, I believe I'm right in saying that you would not be able to build new residential units there under existing law, let alone the new law, because of noise levels. That legislation that's come in from Europe and been adopted is specifically aimed at improving the noise environment in places that, such as I describe, and taking the opportunity of a new transport project, e.g. Crossrail, to make those changes. I don't think, from what I've seen, and forgive me because I've only just received the outline noise strategy, that Westminster is really seizing the opportunity to tackle it that way. And I think that should go in as a discrete item in your noise strategy. Because there are, of course, South London Line, there are other railway projects and road projects to consider too.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, Lisa, I'm going to have an add-on to that, if I may. Margot's point's very important, and I'm going to have a quick moan here. The Victoria Interchange Group went through a public inquiry this year on the Victoria Station upgrade, another transport project. We've just had the inquiry report, and we were given nothing. Absolutely nothing. Right. By the inspector. Now, I have to say that one of our biggest disappointments, and politically biggest disappointment, was that this council failed to support residents in dealing with noise mitigation for that project. We wanted to see improve the level, the noise levels, in terms of making sure that London Underground didn't just go to preferred contractors who don't necessarily have the latest and best equipment. We wanted to make sure that the levels of mitigation, the noise levels, were, brought down, at which mitigation starts. We are likely to experience a 20 decibel increase.
That's huge.
In our environment for 7 years. And Westminster did not support us in trying to improve conditions for residents undergoing next to transport infrastructure projects. And one of the comments the inspector made in his report was all this stuff that you are beginning to produce on noise strategy is not yet policy. So put it to one side. So that's our experience recently.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Simon Burkett, Knightsbridge Association. First question, not to answer now, but if you could take it away, is like with the air quality strategy being aligned to air quality laws, is the noise strategy aligned fully to the full range of noise directives and laws? Second thing is to complement the council with other councils for, I think, one of the greatest things that's ever been done for quality of life in central London, which is, for example, limiting building work to 8 till 6 and having a noise line and enforcement after 10 o'clock at night. That really is a massive sort of step change. My real challenge to you would be for the new strategy and the new planning, new policies, is how to achieve a further step change. And if I can give you a couple of suggestions, one might be that where there is going to be, and it links back to the point about the Victoria Interchange perhaps, where there is going to be activity during those hours, or licensing things during permitted hours, that there is actually some driving down of noise levels by the people who are undertaking those works, whether it's construction work or licensing type activities. And I think a couple of other small points. Helicopters, I appreciate this is a sort of controlled zone area, but there do seem to be an awful lot more helicopters flying around at night these days, and they always wake you up. There is a noise complaint line for that, I appreciate, or you can ring the CAA, but it is worth doing that. But I think it would help if they were discouraged unless it's absolutely essential. I think also enforcement on air conditioners. We've got one in our area put in by one of the local restaurants without planning permission, and we're told that the enforcement procedure to get rid of it will take forever. And it's meaning that people are really suffering because it's a big restaurant air conditioner, and this is really unacceptable. And that's the sort of thing just to drive down and improve further, yet a further step change from what you've achieved. I think one final point, again a small point, which is linked to other health and safety type things, which is I understand that the power saws that are used particularly to cut up stonework by law are meant actually to be watered and shielded, and I find it quite astonishing. I spent some time working underground as a miner, and there you were fired immediately if you didn't comply with certain basic health and safety things. The fact that the people using these things don't have ear protectors, don't have face protectors, don't have eyewear, don't have shields on these saws, and the plumes of dust that come off these things is really quite appalling. And I think that's something which I would encourage you to tackle in various headings under the wider wellbeing heading.
Okay, thank you.